This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, PA is the basic module for every submodule of SAP HR. So you want to learn benefits, you want to learn a time management, you want to learn payroll, compensation, everything. PA is mandatory. PA is mandatory. Through PA transactions only. If it is the employee data, it has to be PA transactions. Okay, it could be a time data or a benefits data or a compensation data or travel data of an employee. Okay, or a time data, payroll data of an employee. It has to be PA transaction. Okay, it has to be a personal administration module transaction in PA. So we learn how do we manage the employee data. How do we manage the employee data? See, employee data is basically, let's say this is the employment. Okay, employment information. Every employment has what? A PERNer means personal number, employee ID. Every employment has an employee ID. Okay, when you hire an employee, you maintain employee data. When you hire an employee, you maintain an employee data. Okay, this employee data contains what? Two parts. One is employee personal data. Another one is employee organizational data. Employee organization data. Okay, employee personal data and employment data. Organization data is also known as employment data. Personal data is what? Tell me. I've already explained in the beginning itself. Organization data or anyone? Employment data.
Employees are there.
Hmm? Organization data and employment data. What is personal data?
Employee group, employee subgroup,
Is it a personal data of an employee or employment data?
First name, last name, date of birth.
Yeah. So employee personal details, address, communication information, ID proofs. Okay. All that is a personal data, biographical data of an employee. All that is a biographical data of an employee. Okay. Understood? Now organization data is what? Organization data is what? Okay. So he let me write it here. Personal data is nothing but personal information, address, contact, education, previous employers, skills, IDs, dependent details, etc. This is the employment data. Okay, so organization data is again further divided, okay, as a structures. The organization data of an employee is further divided as a structures. What structures? What structures? Anyone?
enterprise structure, personal structure, organization.
Okay. So this, what I'm explaining is not just a HR. SAP is not just a SAP HR thing. It is common for all SAP, all HR technologies. This topic is for all HR technologies. Or consider this as a Okay, the generic HR data. So here we are done with the one structure already, which is org structure. In org structure, what did we create? Position of employee, department of employee. Okay, position of employee, department of employee. What department he is part of? And we have job, we have task, work center. Okay, and we have what? Reporting manager. We have a cost center. Okay, this is the organization structure, and we are done with it. Okay, now we will also have enterprise structure. Enterprise structure. Okay, and it consists what? So here you divided the employees based on the job information. Divided the employees based on the job, okay, and position, and the department wise you divided the employee. You identified the employee in all structure. And here accounting wise means entity, company code. A company code is nothing but legal entity of employee. Okay, location, sublocations, even a cost center. Cost center is also part of, okay, enterprise structure when OM is not implemented. Okay, when OM, anyway, cost center is not our object, but we assign this to our data. Okay, if OM is there, cost center is part of OM. If OM is not there, cost center is part of enterprise structure in PA directly. And we also have personal structure. Okay, we also have personal structure. It contains what? It contains employee group and employee subgroup. Okay, this is based on what? This is not based on the location. This is not based on entity accounts. Enterprise structure is based on what? You are identifying the employee accounting wise and the location wise. Person structure is what? You are identifying the employee based on the nature of work of an employee. Okay, and then employment type, and then frequency, monthly or weekly, or a full time or a part time, working times wise. So you identify, you divide the employee and identify based on these criterias. You can also include in the personal structure, you can also include payroll area. Okay, payroll area. And then another structure for the employee is a pay scale structure. This is purely used for the payroll. Purely used for payroll. So what it contains? So pay scale, type, pay scale area. Okay, there is a agreement, collective agreement provision, CAP grouping, and then within this pay scale group, and within a group you have pay scale level. Pay scale level. This is the pay structure of an employee. So these are the major structures. Okay, we have an employee data. I mean employment data. Employment data. Okay, so we are done with the one structure. We are done with one structure. This structure is maintained where? In the InfoDAP 0001 organization assignment. Enterprise structure is maintained to, okay, employee in the InfoDAP 0001 only. Employment data. Person structure is also maintained in InfoDAP 0001 only. But pay scale structure is maintained to the employee data in the InfoDAP. In InfoDAP 0008. Okay. The other data such as hire date, okay, hire date, etc., is here. Other employment data. Hire date, employment status, okay, employment events such as a hiring, promotion, transfer, organization change, etc. Okay, all this is stored in InfoDAP. In InfoDAP 4 zeros. In OM also you did the same thing, right? You created the data in an AMG screen and you maintained the objects in InfoDAPs, right? Similarly, employee data also is maintained in the InfoDAPs. Is maintained in the InfoDAPs. So here again, personal information is stored where? In the InfoDAP 0002. Address information is stored where? Okay, in the InfoDAP 0006. And the contact details, communication details are stored where? In the InfoDAP 0105. Education details like this, there are InfoDAPs. They are just example I'm saying. Okay, and previous employer data. I don't remember these InfoDAPs anyway. 0024. Personal IDs, PAN number, passport, Aadhaar, etc. Okay, dependent details. Clear? You understood? An employment ID. An employment ID will contain employee personal information, organizational information, okay, and organization information in HR in SAP is further divided into the structures. Okay, org structure, enterprise structure, okay, and the personal structure, and then pay scale structure. And the responsible administrators, when there is a employee data, who are the administrators? Also is part of organizational data. Okay, also part of organization data. Who are the administrators? Who is responsible for this employee payroll? Who is responsible for managing the employee time data? Okay, who is responsible for managing the employee data? Someone is responsible in HR department, right? We call them as admins, HR admins. See, when you join in a company, your payroll is run by one person. Your time data is managed by one time admin. Your trainings are managed by training administrators. Okay, all those are what? HR executives. Your employee data is managed by one HR admin. So admins, time admin, payroll admin, and then employee data admin, master data admin. Master data admin. So where do we maintain this admin information? Again in InfoDAP. In InfoDAP 0001. Okay. So in other technologies, other systems, observe this. Here there is a person. There is a person. Let me put it here. One person. Okay. Now one person, there is a chance that he can have multiple employment types in the company. Okay. Multiple employment types in the company. So there can be employment one, there can be employment two, there can be very rare scenario. Okay, employment one and employment two. So this is a employment one. Every employment will have employee ID. Remember that. Okay, every employment will have a employee ID. So this person may perform this particular employment also. Yes. Okay. Every employment has a employee ID. An employee ID has personal information and then organizational, okay, organization data and employment information. So this employment two also will have, okay, also will have another employee ID. Okay, another employee ID 2. So this is employee ID 1. This is employee ID 2. Again, what is common between employee ID 1 and employee ID 2? See, in organization
Personal
one,
data.
personal data is common. Personal data is common. Okay, so this personal data is usually stored with a ID called person ID. Dini employee biographical information is stored with the ID called with the ID personal ID. Remember this. Person ID, not personal number. Person ID. So person ID, let's assume it is 0025 అనుకుందాం. So the person ID here and then same person ID is also maintained here. So different IDs you will see in the real time. Remember this. Okay. Simple rule, every employment will have employee ID. Every employment will have an employee ID. Okay. And every employee ID contains employee biographical information and employee employment information. Employee biographical information is stored with the person ID. Employee biographical information is stored with the person ID. The person ID is common between employee ID 1 and employee ID 2. Remember this. Okay, because it is the same person who is performing two employments. So every employment will have an employee ID. Every employment will have employee ID. And this employee ID 2 has its own organization employment data. This part is not same between employee ID 1 and employee ID 2. Employee ID 1 position, department, okay, location, this can be different. Okay, pay scale structure can be different. Employee ID 2 organizational information can be different. Can be different. Is this clear, guys? Any question here?
Sir, this person ID, is it same as a holder ID which we have created in organizational structure?
That is employment ID.
No, holder ID. Holder.
Yeah, holder is nothing but employee ID, personal number.
Okay.
Personal ID, I don't explain you in SAP. It will create a confusion, so I don't explain you in SAP. In other technologies, it is there. A person with a biographical information is identified with a person ID. It doesn't contain employment data. One person will have one person ID. One person can have multiple employee IDs. Understood?
Okay, sir.
It's clear. What we use in PA is employee ID. Okay? This is what we call personal number. ఇక్కడ person వేరు, ఇక్కడ personal వేరు. PERSONNEL means employee. Personal number అంటాం, employee ID or PERNR అని పిలుస్తాం. Okay? Personal means employment. Understood? Any question, guys, in this? So every employee ID will has what? Its own organizational data. Okay, organizational data is not same. So this is a rare case. 99% is one employee will have one employment ID only. Okay, but very rare case, one employee can have multiple employments. One employee can have multiple employments. Any question in this area? Anyone? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, user ID. There is one more ID called user ID. The user ID is what the employee use to log in into the system or a portal. System means portal. Employee is not directly given with the SAP access, right? Okay. Employee is not directly given with SAP access. He is given with a self-service access. And you all know what is the self-services, right? Okay. What is the self-service? What is the self-service? Self-service portals. Any examples for the self-service portals? What are the advantages of self-service portal?
Banking portals. We can change our personal information.
Perfect. Banking portal is a self-service portal with which you can directly access your data to a certain extent. Okay. So there is a restricted data, there is unrestricted data, there is a not accessible, not viewable data also. Okay. So restricted data, your account balance you cannot modify, you can only view it. Okay. What is not restricted data? You can add a pay information, you can transfer any amount to anyone. There is no limit there. Okay. Even if there is a limit, you can extend it, not a problem. So there is some data you can manage. You can change your personal information, contact information, communication information. You can see your history of transactions. What if that self-service is not there? How do you manage all these transactions? You have to visit the bank. Yes or no? You have to visit the bank and you need to take the admin help out there, right? Clear. Now it's a admin responsibility to manage that data. Okay, it's a bank admin responsibility to manage that data, and so is in HR. In HR also, if there is no portal given to you for downloading your pay slips, for viewing your pay slip, for managing your own information, for applying the leaves, okay, for filling your appraisal templates, enrolling in a trainings, okay, how do you manage all this information without a self-service portal? You have to go to HR admin, right? You have to send a mail directly to the HR admin requesting your pay slips. Yes or no? And you have to send a mail to your HR admin to change your personal information. For example, marital status, dependent details, right? So for every change, you have to depend on HR admins or administrators. Okay, even in other self services introduced. So these self services are everywhere. Just that we don't call them as a self service sometimes. Clear. So similarly, in any company, okay, I mean mostly technological companies, okay, their employees can access the portals, employment portal, not employment portal, company portal. Okay, company give the user ID and password to them. So every employee ID will have a user ID here. Every personal number will have a separate user ID. Every personal number will have a separate user ID here. Every personal number will have a separate user ID to log in into the self-service portal to access the system. Self-service is just a UI. It doesn't store any data, okay? The portal that you see is just a UI, user interface. Backend, you are accessing the data in SAP only. Yeah. So here user ID can be different. So every employee can have a separate user ID. Every employment can have a separate user ID. Understood? Every employment can have a separate, okay, user ID. Okay, there is another concept called global employment. If this person is playing a one role in India, another role in another country, or if this person he is working or he is active, okay, in two countries at a time, that's called global employment. Global employment. So this person will also have a global ID which is common for all countries, along with the employee IDs. Along with the employee IDs, this person can have a global ID, globally identified unique number. Employee ID is to identify employment. Employee ID is used to identify employment. Person ID is used to identify the person, biographical information. Okay, personal ID is used to identify the person's biographical information. Employee ID is used to identify employment data. That employment data. Okay, employee ID is used to that employment data. User ID is used to give access to that employment data. Access to the employment data in the system. That is a user ID. Okay, so sometimes your employee ID and user ID can be same. Sometimes your employee ID and user ID can be same. You can configure this same in the sense you can use the same number, employee ID number 1, as a user ID also, so that you can easily recognize it. There is no rule that both have to be same, okay, because user ID is different, employee ID is different, but having both user ID and employee ID, a common unique number is always good, better practice. Okay. Any question here? So again, global ID is different from all these IDs. So these many IDs you will have to manage. You will have to manage in SAP as well as SuccessFactors also. Okay. Any question in this area? So when you log in with this user ID, okay, this user ID is associated with this personal number in the background, right? So that it fetches the employee personal data as well as the employee that organizational data on the UI user interface. So when you log in, if you are an employee of one company, you might be already given with company's portal. When you log in into that company's portal, you can access your pay slip, you can update your address information, you can apply the leaves, yes or no? And where is the data stored? The data is stored in the background in SAP only, if that company is using SAP system. Any question, guys? So without a user ID, employee is not given with the access. Employee ID will be there, personal ID will be there, but access is not there. You need to have a user. You need to have a user. Okay, user created, a unique user created and assign it to that employee.
But in this scenario, global ID will be only one or two in this two
Global ID
employment
will be
ID
one.
scenario.
No, global, every individual will have only one global ID.
Okay.
And each employment is identified with a employment ID. So in India, he will have one personal number. In USA, he will have another personal number. But that person will have only one global ID. So what we are here, we are a consultant. We are also accessing the same system. Okay. What we are here and where are we here? Do we have employee ID? Do we have a personal ID? Do we have a global ID when you are working for a client? You are not an employee of this client, right? You are an employee of one software company, consulting company. Okay. What you are and why are you accessing the system? Because you need to customize the system. You are just a user. You are not an employee. You are just a user. Okay. Every user. That's why user ID is different. What is the difference? You can ask me, why can't we use a personal number? Why can't we use a personal number? When every user ID has a employee ID, okay? When every user ID is associated with one employee ID, why can't we use employee ID directly? And why again we need to have a user ID? User ID, employee ID is not accessing the system. It is employment information. But for the system to access the data, you need a user ID, right? See here in our case, we are not employee of the company. We are not an employee of the company, but we are accessing the system because, okay, we have to customize. When you log in, you need to log in and customize the system. So user ID is different. A user no need to be a user, no need to be an employee. Are we clear? A user no need to be an employee. So this user is given with all permissions, authorizations that are required for customizing the solution, for configuring the solution. Yeah. But this user is given with what? Is given with his own access, his own data access to certain extent, not every data of his own. He cannot change his payroll information. He cannot change his payroll information, but he can change his personal information. He can view the payment information. Understood? He can view the payment information. Clear? This user ID. So the user ID is used for what? The permissions in the system. The permissions, what data he can access, is controlled by user ID. Understood, guys? If you learn this, if you understood this, SuccessFactors will be easy for you. Any question, guys? So just like the way we used OM transactions, PO13, PO14 to manage the employee data, in an HR also, I mean here in PA also, we have PA30, PA40 transactions. We have PA30, PA40, all PA related transactions. Okay, all PA related transactions. Starts with the PA. This list of transactions and the info types I have given you in a document. In a document. What transactions are we going to use in PA? So where I give this information here. See, these are payroll info types, benefit info types. See, any info type that starts with a 0 is handled in PA. These are PA info types. And these are the OM info types we just completed. These are the transactions that we use in PA, personal administration. I think all of you have this document with you. Okay. So I'll start explaining from enterprise structure. Where is it? Right from here. It's only when you complete what you see in the screen, you can get into the payroll. The data that I have mentioned in the organizational data or employment data, after completion of this employment data configuration, only you can get into payroll. Okay, so without having a pay scale structure, person structure, enterprise structure, and employment information here, you cannot get into the payroll. Understood, guys? So that's all for today. Okay, I'll share this document to you if anyone needs it. Okay, I'll share this video. So that's all for today. See you tomorrow. Any question?
Sir, we are done the integration part.
Organization management,
Integration between OM and PA, the class which you took yesterday.
yesterday you were not there.
Yes, I was there. I mean, it has been completed, or still we have
No,
anything in the integration part?
the integration. I explained the integration theoretically. Okay, I can show you that integration practically with all the tools given after completion of PA. That's what I said yesterday.
Okay, fine.
Because without knowing PA structures, okay, you cannot understand that integration completely. Okay, I'll execute each and every tool that I mentioned yesterday's class, and then I'll explain.
Okay.
Sir, in the org structure, I have one doubt around, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, in our organization, they are asking for the reporting manager 1 and the reporting manager 2, sir. So, I have found the reporting manager R1, I mean, I can able to find out in OM. But in reporting manager 2 in OM, how to create, sir? Like PO13 or in position we used to map now, sir. This position is reports to that particular position. That is the reporting manager 1. And that position is report to reporting manager 2 means how to maintain, sir.
Same relation you should use. See, the first one here, let me create one more. See, this is a position 1, and this position reporting to one position. Okay, this position reporting to one position. S2. Okay, and there is no guarantee that this position will directly have a reporting manager, right? The S2 might have a reporting manager, might not have a reporting manager.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you apply the same evaluation path to search for the S3. Okay, I mean the next reporting manager position. If it doesn't exist, if S3 is there, fine. If this S3 is not there, then these positions argunate. Pick the positions argunate. This argunate is, let's say, O1. Okay, this argunate, next level argunate. Okay, next level argunate. We have a higher level argunates, right? So this position will be definitely reporting to one position in the next level argunate. So we need to build that cross-functional relation also. Okay, we need to build this cross-functional relation. So here, how do you build a cross-functional relation? It's the same relation. I am using the different word, cross-functional relation. Let me show you PP OM underscore world. You used workflow, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. Workflow only.
In workflow only, you need to apply the same evaluation path for the second position also. See, first position you applied reports to, right? With
Yes,
that you
sir.
identified one position, and on
Yes,
that position you apply reports to only. Okay, then you will find the second level position. But here I have not explained
yes,
this in the class. Let me show you this. Why is this getting down? let's say this position reports to the position in MP power, higher level position. But there is no reporting structure between this and this, 26 and 29. That you can build like this. Look at this. You go to reporting structure of this org unit, just like the way you did earlier. Select the org unit, go to reporting structure. Okay, managing director. He is edit, elevate, within org unit or general. Edit, elevate, general, not within org unit. You're going to make him as a manager to general manager here. This managing director is a manager to general manager here. So this relation also, this reporting structure also you need to build, not only with an org unit. Understood? Now when you look at this green symbol, that means this position is from different org unit. Which org unit? Click on it. It shows you. Okay. HR department. Now you apply that cycle repeatedly. But usually when the manager, first level manager completes the action, then only it goes to the next level, right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, after completion of that first action, you execute the same evaluation path once again to pick the next level manager. So it works. It is the same relation.
Okay, sir. Sir, can't we use any, you have mentioned in one class, no, that like we can use customized info type in organization assignment. So with the help of that, we can assign, sir.
Directly.
Yes, sir. Because some of the position they won't report to MD directly. So line 2 would be like MD. So if we want to cut that MD part means, so I can put the one level down the same position, no, sir.
You mean to say that positions are not reporting to anyone?
No, sir. A position is reporting. Suppose a HR manager is reporting to HR head, and his R2 will be an D. So the HR manager R2 should not be MD. It should be an HR head only. Again, it should not go to the MD. Because the MD won't approve each and every attendance, no, so that we want to block with the HR head alone. So they have mentioned that. So that
I'll call you once again. We'll discuss this. Let me give you a call right now. Okay.
yes, sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I'm going to call you now.
Okay, sir.